Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys an update to my Evil Eye deck profile. For those of you guys who don't know, this is one of my longtime favorite decks I've ever played, just one of my pet decks. I play this all the time on Master Duel for its ease of how to pilot the deck, and just like being able to really quickly dump it out. I've done deck profiles on how to play this in Master Duel. I've done several deck profiles on this on YouTube, so definitely if you guys enjoy this content, please subscribe to the channel. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and check out the sponsors and the links. Just absolutely love this deck. Very, very fun, very easy to pilot. So anyways, let's get straight on into this one. So we are going to be starting off here with, 3 copies of Surzeal, Watcher of the Evil Eye. He is the heart and soul of the deck, so this is the one guy, if you don't see him in your opening hand, basically it's Surzeal or bust. You need to find him or like one of the other like 9 ways to get to him in the deck. But with the Surzeal, when he's normal summoned, you get to add 1 Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand, and then he also has the effect that while he's equipped with the equip spell, which is the actual like heart and soul of the deck, while he's equipped with the Evil Eye of Selene, he can quick effect destroy 1 special summon monster that your opponent controls, which is just great. This deck just has such easy like spot removal. It's like super recursive just to be able to do this every single turn, your turn and your opponent's, and just keep like popping stuff that they toss out on the board. But yeah, definitely Surzeal is the guy that you need to make sure that you see every single turn. And then just one thing I should note while we're talking about Surzeal, he does also have the mandatory effect that on your next standby phase, after you use his popping effect, you have to destroy 1 card that you control, and that does activate. It is mandatory, so that is very, very important as we move along. We're playing 2 copies of Basilitrice, Familiar of the Evil Eye. You don't need to play any more, and you don't want to play any less. You maybe could get away with playing 1, but I really like playing 2. Just for 1 for like your main combo when you're going first, and then the second for like when you're just like if your board does get broken and you just need to push, or you just need to be able to extend to close out the game. Basilitrice is really, really handy. He allows you to summon himself back from the graveyard if you have an Evil Eye, and then he also allows you to basically, similar to like IP Masquerena, lets you link summon into an Evil Eye during your opponent's turn. Both effects are quick effects, which is just absolutely insane. Then we're going on into 1 copy of Basilius, Familiar of the Evil Eye. One of my favorite cards, just reminds me of the Basilisk from Harry Potter. If you guys are also interested, I do have a lore video on Evil Eye. So if you guys are interested in the lore and just sort of like a breakdown more of the at least the original cards, there is also a video on that on the channel here. But Basilius from Familiar of the Evil Eye, very, very cool card. Lets you Foolish Burial one of your spell cards into the graveyard, so that's just always really, really cool. Or does it it actually probably just dumps anything? No, it does have to be a spell trap. Yeah, spell trap from the deck. So it's a Foolish Burial of Goods. Then we're going on into a Catoblepass. It's basically like a diet version of Basilitrice. Lets you special summon itself from the graveyard when you have another Evil Eye on the field. So he's just another option. He's another name. That way, like if you get Basilitrice in hand, you can then dump Catoblepass later and then just summon both of them and then go in for like a Link 2 or a Link 3 play. Then we do have 1 copy of Medusa, Watcher of the Evil Eye. She's just really nice for like when you're in a grind game. She's going to help you to bring back one of your resources back to your hand. I would consider her probably the worst card in the deck, but she does have really, really great applications where if you are about to like lose the game and you're able to top her, or you're able to like search for her at the end of the game, and you do have your Evil Eye of Gorgoneo equip spell in the grave and your life points are much lower than your opponent, you can always summon Medusa, get that Gorgoneo back to your hand, and then Gorgoneo is going to allow you to increase her attack or whoever you equip equal to the difference of your opponent's life points to yours, and then that is just going to be able to make you go in for like a huge OTK push. So like that's just insane. I absolutely love still playing Medusa as a 1 of. Then getting on into our hand traps, we're just playing 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Just overall great, well-rounded card. Then for the equip spells, again, like I said, heart and soul of the deck. I'm going to be very annoying saying that, but Evil Eye of Selene is the absolute most important card of the deck. What this card does, and like I said, with Surzeal, he gets his quick effect when you have Evil Eye of Selene equipped to him. So with this card, you can only equip it to an Evil Eye monster. The monster cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects, and your opponent cannot target it with card effects. It essentially becomes a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon while it's on the field, just impervious to basically all of the big main stuff in the game. Then along with that, every time you activate that monster's effect or a Evil Eye spell or trap card, the equipped monster gains 500 attack, and then you lose 500 life points. So whatever life points you go down, your monster goes up in attack points. And then also, while this card is in the graveyard, you're able to pay 1,000 life points and then set it back to the field. So this card is like always going to be an option for you, because like once you get it searched out, you can always bring it back from the graveyard by banishing another Evil Eye card from the graveyard, another Evil Eye spell or trap card, I should say, from the graveyard. Bring it back to the field, pay some life points, and then you're back into it. It works really great when you like link stuff away and whatnot. Evil Eye of Selene, heart and soul of the deck. Then we're getting on into 3 copies of Evil Eye Gorgoneo. This is the card that like you always want to dump to the graveyard with your Basel Trice or with your Evil Eyes Unleashed. So this is the card that when it's in the graveyard, you're able to banish it from the graveyard. And then for cost, also discarding an Evil Eye card from your hand, and then you're able to add another Evil Eye spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. So that's where you can search for an Evil Eyes Unleashed, or else your field spell. If you just need to get an Evil Eye of Selene to your hand, this card just has so much application. Gives you like some really cool combo lines. So this card is just insane. While it's equipped to your monster, like I said, you get that attack boost for the difference of you versus your opponent's life points, as long as your life points are lower, which generally they're going to be until like the last final push of the game. And then the other thing is just that this card also counts as Evil Eye of Selene while it's equipped to a monster. So this card is just insane. It gives you still like all of those benefits onto your monsters of being Evil Eye of Selene. It just doesn't give you any of like that targeting and card destruction protection and all that stuff, but still absolutely great powerhouse of the deck. Then we're getting on into our 3 copies of Evil Eyes Unleashed. This card is absolutely insane. When this card came out in Photon Hypernova, I totally thought that this deck was going to be like tier 1. It never came to tier 1 status, and I think the big thing is just that like I said, it's Surzeal or bust for this deck, and if this card was able to get its search effect when it's special summoned as well, that would be really insane. But it's only off of normal summons, so that kind of hinders the deck a little bit. And then there's just other stuff like being like a life point centric deck. Like this deck just has hard time when you're going into time into duels and whatnot. But anyways, nonetheless, this card is insane for the deck because it allows you to Foolish Burial 1 monster and 1 spell trap card from the deck for cost, and then on resolution, it searches you for another, or for one of your Evil Eye equipped spell cards. So as this is resolving, you're either going to add yourself an Evil Eye of Selene or an Evil Eye Gorgoneo from your deck to your hand, which is absolutely insane. And then it has another effect that when you link summon while this card is in your graveyard, you're able to banish this from the graveyard and then equip an equip spell from your graveyard onto your monster, which is also just insane, because like one of the biggest downsides to the deck used to be that like you really want to be able to link summon and stuff, and then we got the release of the Basel Trice, which allows you to link summon during your opponent's turn. And then after you do that link summon, you banish the Evil Eyes Unleashed, and then Evil Eyes Unleashed is going to equip your Selene back to your guy. And so it generally allows you to like use Surzeal on your opponent's turn, use Basel Trice to link into a Link 2 monster or the Link 3, equip Evil Eye of Selene by using Unleashed, and now you're able to use that Link monster's effect. So this card, just absolutely insane for the deck. Then we're going to be moving on into Evil Eye Domain Pareidolia. This card is just insane for the deck because it allows you to search or add 1 Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. So that's generally going to be searching you for your Surzeal, but you still have all of your other options as well. And then also there's some really cool things that you can do in battle phase with your opponent's life points. If they attack into your Evil Eye monsters, you can make your opponent take the damage as long as you have the Evil Eye of Selene on the field. So that's just really, really cool. It creates certain scenarios where your opponent might kill themselves, or they'll at least like reduce their life points by like a couple hundred or a few thousand. 1 terraforming just for extra copies of Pareidolia. Then we're going on into just some of the one-ofs. Evil Eye Repose, really, really great way to get some spot removal and an extra draw card. One copy of Evil Eye Confrontation. You just got to play this for some spell trap removal because it's searchable. And then one copy of Evil Eye Awakening. This is the card that like doesn't come up all the time, but when you can search it and this card does come up so you can like do some link climbing, this card is just absolutely perfect when those scenarios come up. Then we're playing 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Okay, not really, but I really wish we can. So we're playing 1 copy of Pot of Prosperity and 2 copies of Pot of Prosperity at home. Oh yeah. So, anyways, our great value Pot of Prosperities, which is Pot of Duality, basically is going to allow us to excavate the top 3 of the deck and then be able to add one of those excavated cards. But we can't special summon. But again, with the utility of Vassal Trice, it allows us to basically just use Pot of Duality, try to get ourselves into our field spell or something, then search for Surzeal, normal summon Surzeal, Surzeal searches us for our Evil Eyes Unleashed, Unleashed dumps all of our really important cards and searches us Selene, and then on our opponent's turn, we're just able to get some extra disruption due to the Vassal Trice. So the really nice thing about this in combination with each other too is that you can Pot of Prosperity, pick up Pot of Duality, and then use Pot of Duality. So like, you know, you can only use like Pot of Prosperity once per turn, but if you go Prosperity into Duality, it still works. I didn't want to play Extravagance in this build, but this seemed like a pretty good route to go with. Then just for some extra cards, just to like find certain things, to draw certain things, we have 1 copy of Thrust, 1 copy of Talent. Thrust being able to find us our Evil Eyes Unleashed is just absolutely insane if we get disrupted and we can't get to it. There are combo lines to be able to go from Unleashed to be able to search for Surzeal, so that's really, really cool. Then we're playing 1 copy of Called by the Grave. Our searches are super duper important. Even though Evil Eyes Unleashed lets us dump 2 cards for cost, it's still really important with Called by the Grave to be able to get some of those crucial searches off. So we got to make sure that those happen. Like if you open with just the field spell, and your opponent has Ash Blossom, you need to have Called by the Grave to be able to counteract that Ash Blossom, because otherwise you're just not going to get to Surzeal. Then for the trap cards, we're playing 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, 1 copy of Evil Eye Defeat, and 1 copy of Evil Eye Retribution. It's just good to play these extra names, just so you're able to like have extra names for Gorgoneo to pitch to Graveyard, because that's always really important. And then Retribution is just, it's a really great card for the this deck, because this deck plays off of like a Protect the Castle kind of build. So when you get out your Surzeal or your Gorgon or your Zurzeal in your extra deck, basically the game plan is get that guy out, equip it with Evil Eye of Selene, and then just protect it at all costs. So if you just destroy all of your opponent's monsters that like if they had a Baronne de Fleur, which is going to be able to like pop one of your cards or something, like to pop your equip spell or something like that, or if they're about to use like Harpy's Feather Duster to be able to destroy your back row so that they can destroy your monster, like having Evil Eye Retribution is just there to be able to stop those cards that are going to be like, oh, that's the card that's going to break my board, so as long as I stop that one card, my board can't be broken, and then I'm just going to sit on this guy who's just a towers and can't be destroyed. So that is the general game plan of the deck going first, and it just works so well. Then for our last card, I put this card last because this is 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet, but if you guys do have them, this is your slot to be playing 3 copies of Dominus Impulse if you do have them. Otherwise, if you have other like another hand trap like Nibiru or something else that you want to play, totally go for that. But like otherwise, if you have Droplet or Dominus Impulse to be able to like sort of stun your opponent so that you can build a board going second, totally works as well. So whatever your guys' player preference is or whatever cards are at your disposal, totally go for it. But then we're going to go on into our extra deck. We're playing 2 copies of Gorgon. I'll try to be pretty quick with these, but Gorgon, very similar to your Surzeal, gets the quick effect of being able to do something when it has Evil Eye of Selene equipped to it. So when you have Selene equipped to it, it is able to basically be an imperm to be able to negate one of your opponent's monsters. So very, very cool. And then also just gains 100 extra attack for each different Evil Eye card in your graveyard. So this card can get pretty beefy And then also, it just also has that mandatory standby phase effect, which doesn't really come up too often. Then we have our 2 copies of Zerziel. This is your, like, OTK machine, and this card, this card didn't used to come up very often because you couldn't climb into him very easily, but now that we have Basel Trice, getting into Zerziel is not only easy, but it's kind of what we do more often than, like, ending on Gorgon to close out the game. So going into Zerziel, he gets the ability to attack twice as long as you, like, link into him with a monster that has 2600 or more attack, which generally Gorgon or Zerziel is going to have that much attack by the time you're linking into this. And then it also has the quick effect when it's equipped with Selene to be able to pop 1 card on the field once per turn. And then again, it also has that mandatory standby phase effect, negate the effect of 1 effect monster that this card currently points to. That one does come up quite a bit, especially sometimes it'll be pointing to your own monster, which sometimes sucks. But anyways, this card is just absolutely insane. When you get this card up to like 5,000 attack, and then it can attack twice, whether you're playing in person, in paper, or if you're playing on Master Duel, this card is just so fun to play with. Then for some of the generic stuff, we're playing 1 copy of IP Masquerena, 1 copy of SP Little Knight. We've got ourselves a Dark, a Muckracker, and then just to stick around with some more Fiend types, just in case we get locked in with Muckracker, we've got Nightmare Unicorn, we've got Unchained Abomination, 1 copy of Underworld Goddess. She's probably the most flexible card in here because, in general, as long as you can get Evil Eye Gorgonio into your hand, you're going to be able to kind of bash over anything that you really need to. So overall, Underworld Goddess, not super duper needed, but it is a Fiend, so you might as well play it in here. 1 copy of Gossip Shadow. And then we have a little bit of a DDD package, and then we might as well play Zeus because we're playing a couple of XCs. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for the deck profile. I know that this one got pretty winded. I always get pretty long-winded whenever I'm talking about Evil Eye just because I love this deck so much. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Again, go ahead and check out the sponsors and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I would really appreciate it. And we will see you guys for the next profile. And if you guys are interested, again, let me know if you guys are interested in a Master Duel deck profile update. Okay, thanks again, guys. Peace.